Let's see. I think we're good. It says offline. Why does it say offline? What did I do wrong? It says offline, but, It says offline, but, Let's see if I can, just do a test really quick. I'm new to this, sorry if anybody's listening, but, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see if I can, just do a test really quick. I'm new to this, sorry if anybody's listening, but, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see if I can, just do a test really quick. Alright, I'm going to turn the sound off because it's repeating to infinity. GhostyFilms live stream. I'm unprofessional. Okay, it looks like it is streaming. Stream. Alright, I'm just going to start it. Alright, everybody, thanks for bearing with me on my clumsy fumbling through cyberspace. Should I do the intro again? Welcome to the GhostyFilms live stream. In the last episode, I did some in-between frames and babbled incoherently like a lunatic about comic books and my thoughts about movies and soundtracks, and I talked until my voice was raspy. So maybe in this episode I'll talk until blood starts dribbling out of my mouth. Alright.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Okay.
Thanks, Ronald Reagan. Alright, where are we? So I'm doing more in-between frames. This character is eating a sandwich. Oh, well, at least the sound seemed like it was being picked up. I mean, I saw Private Sleepy was in the chat a minute ago. At least I thought he was. I'm also kind of worried that this is coming up on the wrong channel. It seems like it's just coming up on my main channel. Like I made a second channel specifically. Oh yeah, he is here. Hey, Private Sleepy, what's up? I made this second channel specifically for live streams, so all my live streams wouldn't clutter up the finished content on my main channel, but none of the live streams are actually showing up on the new channel. They're all showing, the last one showed up on the old channel, I think. So that's kind of annoying. I'll have to monkey around with that a little bit more. Alright, so let's see. start my stopwatch so I know when an hour has passed, and I can, you know, stop the stream in an hour so it doesn't crash like it tends to do after an hour. I can't really help whistling sometimes, and it really sounds horrible, like whistling through a microphone. Just, ugh. It always sounds tinny and obnoxious, but I can't help it. Like, I just automatically, I do it without thinking sometimes. And like I was saying, I've been watching a lot of, I've been listening to a lot of soundtracks from movies, and I was listening to Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, the Temple of Doom musical score, and I've just had that song stuck in my head, and it's just, I keep whistling it. It's just kind of cool that the woman sang in Chinese at the beginning, and it was just like, I always found that to be an interesting scene, because sometimes in movies, if they're in a different country where they speak a different language, you kind of assume that they're speaking in the language of that country. Like, they're obviously not speaking English. And that movie, like, Indiana Jones walks into the club owned by the gangster Lao Chi, and in the beginning, you have the waiter come up to him and he's like, "Be careful," or something. And then Indiana Jones walks over to the table, and he's like, he says something in Chinese, and then Lao Chi goes, "Oh, Dr. Jones, I didn't know that you spoke my language." And Indiana Jones says in English, only on special occasions. And I think about that, because, like, did the club, was it an English-speaking club? Because, like, when Willie Scott is singing the song, she sings the verse portions in Chinese, but she sings the chorus in English. And I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Like, why would they be speaking English in a club? Or maybe Lao Chi just spoke to Indiana Jones in English because he assumed that an American would speak English and not Chinese. But if I was writing a scene, you kind of, like, I think I would probably do it the same exact way. I would make the character, if the character was an English speaker, I think I'd make him say something in Chinese at first, just to let everybody know that they're speaking in Chinese, and there's like a, there's the illusion of them speaking in English, but the only reason that you make them speak in English is because it was made for an English-speaking audience, and it would be stupid to make them speak in Chinese and market it in the United States. But just to let everybody know, this is where they are. They're in Shanghai, and they're speaking Chinese, so strap in! But then again, does it even matter if you tell the audience what language they're speaking? Should the audience just assume? But maybe the audience is dumb. Maybe they don't know. And maybe they wouldn't even get a subtle indicator like that they were speaking in Chinese, and that they just, you know, switched it up at some point. I feel like I didn't explain what I was thinking very well. Oh, Private Sleepy said, second channel? What are you talking about? Well, I made a second channel called GhostyFilms Live Streams, and I logged into that channel, and I set up all the stream, I set up the stream configuration on that channel, but for some reason it just came out on my regular GhostyFilms channel. and that's kind of annoying because I made that channel so these tutorial videos would not clutter up the videos on my other channel, which is filled with like finished products. But it turns out that all my my efforts were for naught. Gotta check the dialogue box every once in a while to see if anybody said anything, because I've been rambling about Indiana Jones and the illusion of speaking in English when they're actually supposed to be speaking in Chinese. Or Mandarin or what. Another good, cool track from that movie that I was listening to is the Short Round theme. It just has like a cool sound. It's like, I don't know, I just like it. It just has a interesting scale, I guess. Everybody says the best Indiana Jones movies are rooted in Christian folklore, but I actually like the Temple of Doom. I mean, it's like you got to think of it. It is kind of a terrible movie, but if you think of it in terms of like this one's kind of a comedy. It's more tolerable. It's like there's so many jokes in it. Like obviously Indian people don't eat snake surprise, and they don't have chilled monkey brains for dessert. But if you just think of it and like, yeah, they're being ridiculous here. This is a comedy. For some reason, all the other Indiana Joneses are they all have elements of comedy, but this one had more than usual. But I think it's like if you just limit yourself to Christian folklore, there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like you're closing a lot of doors. Even Raiders of the Lost Ark had a little bit of South American culture or archaeology when Indiana Jones went into that temple and he found the golden idol and then Belloc stole it from him. That was pretty cool. I think people just say that the best Indiana Joneses are rooted in Christian folklore is because they can't view Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as a comedy, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull sucked so bad. But supposedly they're making a fifth one. Let's see. Private Sleepy says, I also like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is awesome. I thought Temple of Doom was good, but my favorite was Last Crusade. Yeah, I like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade are definitely the best. I'm not sure which one I like more. I feel like it's hard to choose for me. Let's see, is this done yet? Oops, I forgot to draw his side. I thought I did that. I've been listening to a lot of soundtracks. Like, I was listening to the Raiders of the Lost Ark soundtrack the other day, and I thought it was interesting how the Marianne Ravenwood theme, like she's got like her own theme for like the romantic scenes between her and Harrison Ford, and it was interesting how both the soundtracks were written by John Williams, and her theme song is very similar to Princess Leia's theme song. Like Princess Leia's theme goes, and Marion Ravenwood's theme is, it starts off with the exact same two notes. Oh shit, how's it go? Damn it, I lost it. I had it in my head a second ago. God damn it. Oh yeah, it goes. But it's just kind of interesting how they're like the same tone, and they start with the same two notes. And they're both Harrison Ford love interests. There was one of the tracks from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where I thought the music was very similar to the Ewok theme from Return of the Jedi. I'm just trying to figure out what it was. The Ewok theme was like, and there was a part in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that just had similar tones. Like it wasn't exact, but it just seemed like it was a ghost. It had the same skeleton or something of that. I've been whistling Indiana Jones and Star Wars songs like they've been burned into my brain since I was a kid, and since I used to watch those movies over and over again. And my brother and my friend Brian would sometimes watch them, and we'd just be talking and saying all the lines because we'd memorized all of them. I gotta stop whistling because whistling sounds horrible on a recording. Nobody really wants to hear it anyway. Let's see, what does this hand look like? Okay. Oh, that was Bullzone Guides that said that. I thought I was talking to Private Sleepy. Hello, Bullzone Guides, or James, as I know your name to be. What are you up to, James? I haven't heard from you in like a couple of weeks, at least. Bullzone Guides is a YouTuber who does like a lot of Let's Play live, or not live, well, maybe live streams. Some of them are, but I know he did one on a game that I really like called Wolfenstein 3D, which was a game I used to really like as a kid. It's actually in a similar vein to what I was just talking about, because Wolfenstein 3D, you were this prisoner named B.J. Blazkowicz who was captured by the Nazis, which who are Indiana Jones's enemies, and you'd start the game in this prison cell, and you had I think you start off with a pistol. You either start off with a pistol or a knife. I think you get a pistol in the beginning, but you kill one of the guards and get his gun or something, and then you have to shoot your way out of the prison. And James did a playthrough and with commentary about the whole game. Like there's like 3 episodes. Back in the early days of first-person shooters, you would they would distribute a shareware version of a 3-part series. Like the first part of the series was free, and you could play through the whole episode for free, but then you'd have to pay for the next 2. And I did eventually get the whole thing, but I'm most familiar with the first shareware version. But he did the whole thing, like, I mean, I made it through the whole thing just one time, but I guess he was more familiar with it than I am. I remember it just got really difficult, and you'd have zombies with guns in their chests, and then like all kinds of soldiers that were really hard to deal with. Alright, let's see, I got that chunk done, I got this chunk. Looks kind of smooth. Let's see, so this left off here. I guess all I really have to do is have him slowly turn his head to all these in-between frames. I gotta take a drink. How many people are? I guess I lost all my viewers. Oh well. Let's see. I'll have to figure out how to deal with this whole channel publication thing. I did forget to promote the second video, this one. I did like an hour break in the middle because, like I was saying, they tend to crash if I do them for longer than an hour. And I promoted the first one on Twitter, but I forgot to promote, and I've promoted it on Facebook, but I forgot to do this one. If anybody's interested in my Twitter account, it is at GhostyFilms. Most of the stuff I post on Twitter, though, is just my comedy events, because I do stand-up comedy. And, yeah, if you're not in Connecticut, you're probably never going to see me, so... But I probably will post, updates, like when I upload an animation, so it might be useful to follow me for that. But if you follow me on YouTube already, you probably don't need that. So I don't know, whatever you want to do, I guess. If you had up to here with my incessant babbling, then I understand. Dan, you and your raving like a lunatic about Star Wars and Indiana Jones. You make me sick. So yeah. Sometimes I wonder if the people who I'm friends with on Facebook just think that I'm kind of mentally retarded because I always talk about Alien and Star Wars and Indiana Jones constantly. Oh, and Conan the Barbarian, because I only like 4 movies. And I wonder, do they think I'm stupid because I can't talk about anything else? I hope not. But I just like good stories, and I rarely see movies that I enjoy. And I'm just, when I find a movie that I really like, I just analyze it and I just talk about it. That reminds me, my friend Pete was telling me that I should watch Tombstone. And that was supposed to be one of the best westerns of, I don't know, of them all. I'm not really a western fan. Though I did kind of like Unforgiven. That was one of my favorite movies, but I haven't seen it in a while. I ain't like that no more. Here's a broken down pig farmer. Hopefully this isn't getting too boring. I mean, the animation part of it is not that exciting. And I'm kind of running out of things to say. But hopefully I'll move on to something more interesting in a second or two, once I fill this little gap between these frames up here are done, and then these frames are up here are done, and I gotta fill in these 4. Actually, I gotta fill in 3 because I just finished this one. And then when I get to about this point, I have to start making him chew, because he just takes a bite in these frames, and then right about here, he opens his mouth, and then he's got to probably chew at least twice, and then he's got to be ready to catch the box of cigarettes right around here. So he's got to, maybe this is enough time for, like, how many frames is this? 30. So it's about 20 frames. That should be enough for 2 good chews before he catches the box. And then maybe he'll eat the rest of the sandwich before they go around the corner, because after this shot there's another shot of them going into an alley to do like, you know, the mischievous stuff. They're not old enough to be smoking cigarettes, so they gotta hide. So let's see, I gotta fill in these 2. So this one's red. No, that one's black. I'll make that blue for a second. I wonder why my live dashboard from YouTube says that I'm offline, when clearly I'm looking at the stream in another window. So that's misleading. Alright, so I'm going to make this one a little closer to the previous frame than the later frame, because I have to draw 2 frames. So I'm going to make this a little bit closer to blue, because then normally I like odd numbers when it comes to in-betweening, because you just draw the dot right in the middle. But because it's an even number, I have to make it a little bit more askew to the frame that happened in the past rather than the future. I guess I bored all my viewers away. I was kind of hoping people would ask questions and stuff. But I guess, yeah, this part of this shot, like I was saying before in the last episode, sometimes like subtle movements are not very interesting when it comes to, you know, showing people what I'm animating. Maybe some of the stuff that happens in future scenes will be a little bit more interesting. Like if somebody's running, there's more change in what I'm drawing. But these subtle movements, I'm just drawing the images I'm drawing are just very similar to what happened before. And it's almost like I'm just tracing. And I kind of am tracing, but I'm making everything a little bit different from, you know, what the other frames that are around it. Now I got the Ewoks theme stuck in my head. I feel like when you're doing these tutorial type videos, your voice just naturally falls into like this mellow Bob Ross type of volume. I'm gonna make a happy little stomach right over here. This stomach is where all the grilled cheese lives. And this is a happy little leg right over here. All the grilled cheese just gets digested and provides these legs with the energy they need. Right over here lives a happy little shoe. I was trying to think of more to say about this, but I don't want to beat it to death. And here's the shoe's happy little lover. Maybe that one's the wife and this one's the husband. Alright, this is getting retarded. Yeah, I'm probably focusing on too much on doing a good job on these shoes that will never even enter in the frame. Alright, so let's see. What do I need to do next? Save it. Alright. This should be pretty easy. So at least I'm getting a lot of work in today. I mean, I almost I've been doing this for an hour and a half. I don't have anything difficult really to animate today, so hopefully I'll get to finish this scene, or this shot rather. I got 5 hours done yesterday. Um, so hopefully I'll be able to get more than just 2 hours. But my butt's starting to hurt from sitting. I was sitting like for hours yesterday, and it's already starting to, maybe I'll get up and take a break and walk around a bit and give my eyes a rest. They always say you're supposed to take eye breaks when you're using a computer for a long period of time. And I was going to play the drums, but my roommate has guests, and I don't want to blast their eardrums out. But I need to get back into the swing of things with drumming because I'm trying to make my album, and I feel like every time I'm coming close to getting everything perfect the way I want it, something happens, and like I can't drum for whatever reason, and I'm like, God damn, if I stop drumming for a couple of days, I feel like it's my abilities are significantly lessened because I've only been drumming for a couple of months. And I'm not really good. Like I have to train my foot to be good at, like, to move correctly. It doesn't really have the stamina, and I feel like I've been hiking for many years, so my ankle joints they kind of grind a little bit, and they're not very fluid, and like they're not used to moving in rhythm. Like I'll play guitar and my hands sometimes they just know exactly what to do because they have been playing for so long. Sometimes my brain doesn't even know what to do, and I'll forget how a song goes, but then I'll just be like, if I think about the song, I can't play it. But then if I just don't think about it and I just start playing the beginning, my hands will just know what to do, and I'm like paying attention to what my hands are doing so I can remember. It's almost weird that my hands just seem to know things that my brain doesn't know. But with the drums, I don't have that kind of phenomenon. Like I gotta think about what my foot's doing and constantly incorporate it in a way that feels a little unnatural for me because I'm so new with the drums. But I'm not really looking to become the next John Bonham or anything because I'm 39 years old. I'm never going to be great on the drums. I just have to be you know, functional so I can record these songs and get my albums done because I've been playing guitar for 20 years and I have all these songs written, but they're just sitting around in my head, and sometimes I forget the way they go because I don't always have time to go out and play shows and stuff, and I'd like them to be on the internet and able to be purchased. And maybe contributing something to my life. It would be nice if 20 years worth of work benefited me in some way. So maybe if I do a good job, people will buy them. And my life's goal is to support myself financially through artistic means, whether it's music, whether it's animation or comedy, or all of the above. And if I can make my animations advertise my music and my comedy and vice versa, that would be pretty cool. Maybe that would, I mean, most artists don't make a lot of money, and maybe if I play my cards right and I do this intelligently, I might be able to do that someday. And I was talking before, I can't remember if it was this episode or the previous one, where I was talking about the the SNL like animation show where I'd have comedians write and act in sketches that they wrote. I was thinking that I would use that to also promote music. Maybe I could have some music that I recorded play during the opening credits or the closing credits. And it would be a public access show, so the people that would see it would be able to not only buy the music, but they would be in traveling distance to come see a show if they wanted to. But I guess that's just what you got to do to be an artist. You have to not only try to be a good business person, but you have to be, I want to say the appropriate word is logistical, but I don't think that's the right word. Like it's not necessarily about transporting goods and supplies. It's about transporting intellectual properties and ideas, and I'm not sure if that falls into the category of logistical, but you just have to take a lot of things into consideration, I guess. How does this look? Kind of looks like he's in slow motion for a second. Do I like that or not? I guess it's alright. Oh, Private Sleepy's back. Yeah. Oh, I think I have... Wait a minute. Maybe I didn't lose my followers, or the people who are watching. It just... The live dashboard thing doesn't seem to be updating. But on the YouTube channel, it says 3 are watching. So maybe I didn't bore my audience to death. Yeah, sometimes you gotta let the hands do the thinking when you're playing guitar. I've found that too. Yeah, it's weird that the live dashboard doesn't give you the information that it's supposed to, or that it should. Are you a guitarist, Private Sleepy? Oh, he said no, I was joking. I wish I had an orchestra at my disposal. They could follow me around to the bank with their tuxedos on. No, but I mean like for making the musical score to cartoons. But it would be nice to, like, well, maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. It'd be nice to have the options of all the different orchestral instruments and just being able to capture all the emotions of a scene. But I have tabla drums, and I have a guitar and a bass and a drum kit, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to expand my abilities a bit. Back in the old days, I would use like a drum synthesizer, and the drums sound all cheesy and artificial. But now I can record everything live, which makes the sound quality, in my opinion, much more organic and natural, and I just like it. I was recording some music for this the other day, and I think I got a good drum track, but I gotta go back and put down some bass tracks and then do the guitar. The setting of this is like a contemporary setting, so those instruments all work well. But for something like Chanter Tales, if I ever start animating that again, I'm probably gonna need just use my tabla drum and my guitar and some kind of open tuning so it sounds a little bit more exotic, I guess. Gotta turn off these. Oops. I feel like I approached that a bit. I should have made his head turn later rather than... I guess that's fine. Sometimes coloring is more fun just because it's like you don't have to think about it as much. It's you don't need to be as precise, and there's less tension. It's just like so refreshing just to take a break and color everything. I like coloring. Imagine if there was like if I was important enough for people to quote me, and they just wrote, "I like coloring," and then put that in quotes, and then there was a dash and wrote Dan Brown. I just looked like a total idiot. And then they put the quote next to like other important people, and there's like, you know, judge not lest you be judged, Jesus, and then I like coloring, Dan Brown. Maybe that will happen someday. Fingers crossed. Whoop. What's this all about? I forgot to erase the line. And also his hand kind of looks backwards, like he's got a left hand instead of a right hand. Why does that look weird? Oh. I feel like this tooth would be covered up by the sandwich. Let's see. Oh, it's coloring the teeth. See what my timer's at. 53 minutes. Maybe another 7 minutes. I'll take a break and chop up the video. Oops. Oh, I forgot to draw this shoelace. Oops, I keep doing that every single time. Maybe I'll do it backwards this time, so do that again. Oops, I stink. Ugh, these little things bug me. And even though these shoes aren't even going to be on camera, and I probably shouldn't even color them. Alright, no more being anal about things that are off the camera. I'm just coloring them. And if there's a little speck of white, so be it. No one will ever see it. Let's do his tongue next, because I feel like I'm going to forget it. I only drew one tongue. Next. Maybe I should color the cheese color first. I forgot about all these crumbs. Do I need to draw more crumbs? Alright. Let's go back and draw the cheese. Sorry if my whistling is annoying. I know it annoys me. Whenever I watch a video that I was on and I just start whistling, I'm like, oh god, somebody kill me. Somebody shoot me. So I stop. And I'm just struggling to not whistle. I have a problem. Okay. Gotta save it. What time is it? Alright, that's an hour and 3 minutes. Save it, and then let's look at the scene. Mischievous music. Looks pretty good so far, I think. Maybe that was too small. Why did that look weird?
Dude, let's go around back.
Alright, so thanks for watching, everybody. I sound like Raspy Throat McGee. Let's see.